Kathy Campanelli here for another on-location edition of Let's Get Cereal. I'm joined none other by Jimmy Jacobs.
On location? Aren't you always on a location?
But I'm on a different location than I'm normally at, because normally I'm in my kitchen.
Oh, okay. That's nice. How's your kitchen?
My kitchen's actually really, it gets kind of cramped sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a lot of workspace.
Yeah, so I have a kitchen wall and I painted it with whiteboard paint. So I can write whatever I want on the wall. If I have ideas, it's like, oh, here, write that down. We're having cereal.
We're gonna have some cereal, and we're gonna have Frosted Mini Wheats Fruit Medley.
Family size.
Family size.
We're family.
We're family. I love this. It brings us all together.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of cereal, is that it really unites everyone.
I
Thank
guess
you.
ladies first, right? Isn't that what they say?
I mean, isn't gender just a social construct?
Not actually, despite what the social constructors would like to tell you. There are genetic differences between the males and females, not just in our bodies, but in our preferences. Because evolutionally speaking, we evolve differently, and so men are more into things, women are more into people. There's all sorts of things that men and women.
How about, may I pour your milk?
Oh, that's
And it's almond
so
milk.
generous. Yes, great, good.
Good.
I prefer that to over. I try to limit the dairy in my.
Is that good?
That's great.
More? Oh, you good?
A little more.
A little bit more? A little splash?
Good.
Okay.
Good. Have you had this yet?
I have.
Oh, okay. So it's like not even the first time. It's like, oh, just
I mean,
time.
every time is like the first time because there's no such thing as now.
Well,
It's just our perception.
now is our perception of now.
Exactly.
That's true, right? And our perception now only exists because of our perception in the past. But whatever.
Hey everyone, let's get cereal.
I can taste the fruitiness in here.
But do you taste particular fruits? Get it, really get the palate going, you know?
Is it peaches?
I feel the peach comes through very
really?
intensely. There's apparently supposed to be peaches, apples, and pears.
Yeah.
Which that doesn't sound like a fruit medley. I expect much more out of a fruit medley.
It's generally not helpful to have expectations. If you eliminate all expectations from anything, you'll find yourself much better way to live. I think. So far as there is a better, I guess, right?
I should actually ask you, do you have a particular favorite cereal that you really love?
I tend not to keep any cereal in the house or really anything. I have a problem with eating. If I start, I just keep going. So if I have this, I'll have multiple bowls of cereal. So I cut myself off. I don't leave it in my house.
Like, what was your one that you could just eat bowl after bowl after bowl?
Anything.
Any of them? Okay.
Fruity Pebbles is awful and terrible for you. That's great. Pops are great. I mean, cereal just in general is great.
Cereal in general is great.
Is that why you started this little show? Because you love cereal so much?
I love cereal so much. Another thing I love about cereal is the fact that you can really have it any time of the day.
Well, you can have anything anytime.
Well, this is very true, because what is time?
Well, yeah, I mean, what is time? Right, what is time? That's the question right there. But, I mean, you're a person that has we act as though we have free will. Whether we do or not, I think it's kind of moot. But we act as though we do. It appears as though we do. We treat each other as though we do. So you can do whatever you want. You can have whatever food you want any time of the day. That is your choice, because this world is your oyster. It's your playground. It's to do what you will with it.
This is very true. But now, speaking of expectations, people will often categorize cereal as breakfast cereal.
Yeah.
But breakfast, what time is breakfast time? You can have breakfast whenever the hell you want.
Right. It's just labels. Labels look, labels are important so we can categorize things in our mind, but really, as long as they don't keep you in the box. It's nice to know, just so you can keep things sort of organized, but also don't stay so structured in that organization. It's like there's a lot of free flowingness, right?
It's like a guideline. I like that. I like that a lot.
Everything is like a guideline. Don't feel enclosed by anything you've ever learned, anything your parents ever taught you, any religion you've ever had, anything society's ever taught you. These are guidelines, but at some point you have to throw them all out so you can actually think for yourself and then kind of start from the ground up and say, hey, what benefits me, what helps me, what is useful in my life.
How do you work to actually take those boundaries down? What do you
have to realize that basically all these boundaries have been imposed in your brain. They've been given to you by external forces, and that because of that, you've given power to the external forces in your life. You don't even know this, and you realize, oh man, I've given this power to these external forces. So this is my life. What am I going to do with my life? And so let's throw out everything we thought we knew. Everything. Go back down to zero, and then build it from the ground up. And it's very liberating to do so.
That sounds very liberating.
You should do it.
What do you think is like a good first step for someone to take on that journey to feeling that way, to feeling that liberation?
The first thing, my first step was the realization that nothing is what it is. Nothing has to be the way it is. Nothing needs to be the way it is. The way society's set up is just, it's structured, it happens to be structured this way. And it works, it's good, but it just so happens to be that way.
Right.
You don't need to live your life in a certain way. Society doesn't need to be this way. People, I'm real big in language. People say, I have to go to work. It's like, no, you don't have to go to work. You're choosing to go to work because you want this money, because you think that money gets you something. There's a million different ways to live. There's an infinite amount of ways to live. And so the way you're living now is not the way you have to live. The way things are not the way they are. It's your perception of the way you are, and your perception is subjective. So your perception can always change. So which means everything is really subjective. So you can make the world whatever you want it to be. You can make your life whatever you want it to be. So the first step really is realizing what you think is true is not true. It's just your perception of the truth, which is...
This is the most intense conversation that I've had over cereal, possibly ever,
really?
And I love it.
Really?
I love it. No, I think this is a very mind-expanding conversation, and I appreciate that.
Well, this is what I'm interested in nowadays. It's not. I don't mean to impose these sort of things on you.
No,
it's just what I like talking about now.
Yeah.
It's like what's been going on in my life. I'm going through this journey of like an existential journey of kind of like, what am I? What is this? What's going on here?
Yeah.
I've got my own little podcast called Jimmy Jacobs Doesn't Know, and it's just me trying to figure out like what life is and what the best way to live it is.
And here I am just eating cereal. No. But I'm glad we could cross over like this.
It's not just eating cereal. If this is what you want out of your life, and you truly want something, yes, then eat your cereal. Like the world is your playground, man. We get to live, and it's awesome. Like what a privilege that we get to live, and in this day and age too, which is the best time, the best place to ever live probably. And you go, man, we get to do this. We get to go and we get to see these ducks over here in this little stream over here. I get to play for a living. People pay me to play, and just like how awesome all of it, even the bad stuff. It's like
it's true.
So grateful that I get to be here for this.
And now you were saying you get to play for a living, so can you tell us kind of what you have coming up for you next?
Impact Wrestling is going down to Mexico on August, I think 15th and 16th to do TV there.
Cool.
No, what else do I have going on? August is a little light. But I'm all right with that.
That's okay.
Yeah, for so long.
It's about balance, right?
Yes, it is. Life is actually made up of balance, which is a crazy thing when you realize that too. It's like, it's not about one thing. It's about one thing working in harmony with something else, right? So it's like, yes, work hard, but also relax too.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so when that's not balanced, then your life isn't in harmony. So it's like work for something more, but also be grateful for what you have.
Yes.
It's like there's a balance there. So everything is about balance. Really, I think most things are, as far as a nice way to live, at least.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
Jimmy, thank you so much for joining me. And we got to check out Jimmy Jacobs Doesn't Know.
I don't know, man. I don't. I was rambling.
And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, cereal later. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, get it.